This is All Right Now as Paul Rodgers plays it today in acoustic shows. And we're in the key of A, or playing shapes in the key of A, but we're down tuned by a half step. So let's get in tune first of all. Tune your first string down to D sharp, second string down to A sharp, third string down to F sharp, fourth string down to C sharp, fifth string down to G sharp, sixth string down to D sharp. And just a quick word before we get into the introduction itself. I know that he doesn't play this song acoustically the same way that the guitarist on Free, Paul Kossoff, played it. So don't write to me and say this is not right. It's the way Paul Rodgers is playing it today, okay? Now we start off on an A chord. He starts off on a long A chord with a bar of the top four strings at the second fret and the first string at the fifth fret, and hits that as a full chord. If you don't want that stretch, then just play, as we will for most of the song, this half bar of A and strumming just tightly from the right wrist, your strumming wrist, so that you can keep it controlled and not get the first string. Alright, that's what he's doing for most of the song. The intro is going to sound like this. There she... Alright, so you've got your long A chord, or your tighter A chord. That's going to be followed by another hit of that same chord, and then the second chord, the D over A chord, which adds to this half bar, the second string at the third fret and the fourth string at the fourth fret, and he always puts that chord down and then takes it off to go back to A. So the count here is 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then on the next bar we go back to A, where we'll go down on the half bar A chord, 1, and then 2, 3, 4, you play some kind of percussive effect. I damp the strings, 2, 3, 4, just hitting damp strings. I think he's probably hitting the top of the guitar, 2, 3, 4. Anything percussive to mark time will be fine. And then on the and of 4 there's a little hit of that chord before going into bar 3. So the count there is 1, 2, 3, 4 and that little and is just a pick up as we head into this bar, which also went into the first beat of the next bar. So we're going to hammer from our half bar A into the D over A shape, and then up, down, down. Then hammer again, and up, down, down again. 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 and is your rhythm, and then the final bar, bar 4, is just the hit of the A chord on 1 and 3 mutes, 2, 3, 4. That would then repeat, but here's that whole thing again one more time with the count. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your intro. Now the verse simply alternates all the way through between the half bar A chord and the D over A shape. There she stood in the street, smiling from her head to her feet. I said... Now that line that we played there is almost identical to every line in the verse. It's a hit of the A chord. Remember, always when you hit this half bar A chord, avoid the first string. 2 mutes, and then the D chord, D over A chord, and with the count it's 1, 2, 3, 4, back to A, which will be 1 hit, and then 3 mutes. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. D over A now has this rhythm. It's a strum of that chord, then a hit of the low end of the chord somewhere, another strum of it, and another one. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Nothing on 3. And back to A. Hit, mute, mute, mute. Here it is again with the count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now lines 2, 3, and 4 of the verse, which is your tab from bar 9 all the way through to bar 20, is identical. Each line is identical to what we just played. The only difference is that sometimes, more often than not, instead of going straight to the D over A on the smiling from her head to her, on that bar, he hammers into the D over A. Smiling from her head to her. So it would be hammer, bass, down, down. So it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Sometimes he hammers faster than that, it's more like 1E. So line 2, for example. Hey, what is this? Now maybe, baby, maybe she's in need of a kiss. I said. Okay, the next 2 lines are exactly the same. Hey, what's your name? And then wait or hesitate, don't wait or hesitate, play them the same way. And that takes us into the chorus. He goes into the chorus not on the A, mute, 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 the same rhythm that you played the D over A. Do you remember? Down, bass, down, down. Do the same thing for A. Move before they raise the parking rate. I'm going down, bass, down, bass, down. Slightly different. 1, 2, and 4. Let's move before they raise the bargain rate. And into the chorus. And in the chorus, he breaks out of this tight, tight strumming, goes to a normal A chord where he can strum freely. And he starts off with 4 down strums of A. All right. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. Carries on the next bar. The record changes chord at this point, but he carries on A for 2 more beats. Now, so down, down, and then go to G where you go up, up, down, up. And it's baby, it's a, just tracking the syllables of the vocal. To a D chord where he does various things. Initially he just goes 2 down strums, all right, on the lyric, all right. Other times, I think the second time around he just does that once, all right. And other times later in the song, on chorus 2, he goes to full strums. All right, like 4 times. And on now, he goes to this A chord again, go back to the half bar, he plays this. Now. So he's keeping this around strings 5, 4, and 3. He's basically going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. But after the first down, up, he adds the 5th string at the 3rd fret, down, and takes it off again for the up. So this finger that goes on the 3rd string, on the 5th string at the 3rd fret, is off, off, on, off, 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 on, off. This is how the first line of that chorus sounds when you put it back together. All right now, baby, it's an all right now. And the second one is essentially the same. When you get to the A, you'll see that we stretch it out for 2 bars. All right now, baby, it's an all right now. So he's making it go across 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And back to the intro sequence. Yeah, that's how you'll play the chorus. So we went back to the intro sequence, then you go into verse 2, I took her home, and play verse 2 the same way you play verse 1. It goes into chorus 2, play that the same way. Now Paul Rodgers finishes the song at the end of chorus 2 just by, on that final A after the D chord, all right now. Just a very the obvious way to end the song, the D chord slowing down, and then several hits of the A chord. And that's fine, that's what he does. You can leave the song there and play it exactly the same way as him. I like to put in, after the second chorus, what your tab shows as optional bridge, starting at bar 30. Play this optional bridge and then play one last chorus. It just stretches the song out a little bit longer and adds in this interesting little part of what you can clearly hear on the original record. The optional bridge sounds like this. So I think it adds something to the track, and you can put it in if you want to. This is what's going on. You've got your half bar A. We're going to go down, up, up. And it's keeping it very tight. Strings 5 and 4, and maybe you'll get 3 sometimes. Try not to go any higher than that. Notice I'm stopping after the first up. Down, up, stop, up. Then on the 6th string, open, 3rd fret, and then down, down, back on the tight A chord. And you can put a mute in at the end there if you want to. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4. Now you want to go to this chord. Second and first strings at the 3rd fret, and play 3, 2, 1, 2. And then add the index finger on the 3rd string 2nd fret, 4, 3, 2, 3. You're outlining there a G chord and a D chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and back to the A figure again. And then the G to D. One more time for the A figure. One more time for the G to D. But stop the D on the 2nd string pick. Don't play the 3rd string again, because you need a moment to get to the final chord, which is an E5 chord. It's the 5th string at the 7th fret and the 4th and 3rd strings at the 9th fret. One big strum of that chord. You can make it go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, with a kind of a crescendo on the final 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If that E5 chord is too much of a jump to get into from the D, do the same thing but make it a normal E chord. That'll be okay. So that's your optional bridge. One more time with that. You probably heard that it goes back to the intro again, which would then go into the final chorus. Now we can finish as Paul Rodgers does, and that is All Right Now in its acoustic version.